Senator Marco Rubio and first daughter Ivanka Trump are pushing for a paid leave plan that is actually worse than the current federal plan, which is no plan at all. Let's not forget that the U.S. is the only industrialized country in the world that offers no paid time off for new mothers. How could this plan get any worse? Let's find out. Yes, indeed, America, it is true. I don't even call this a plan. We at the Fowlers would like to call this a scheme. A scheme to steal your Social Security. That's exactly what this is. Now, I'm gonna slow this down a little bit. I know I'm used to talking fast. I'm gonna slow this down so you pick up every morsel of what these two loons are putting down, okay? So the Rubio-Trump scheme says new parents would fund their parental leave by tapping into their Social Security benefits early. The parents would get 12 weeks of benefits, estimated about 40% of the average worker's pay, in exchange for 6 weeks of Social Security benefits down the line. So in a nutshell, you would get 12 weeks after you have a new baby, and then you would have to retire 6 weeks later. So say, for example, you plan on retiring at 66. You'd have to retire at 66 plus 6 weeks. And if you have a sick parent, or you want to take care of a sick loved one, and you decide to take a year off, you'd be able to use your paid leave, your paid family to take care of them, but you would, instead of retiring at 66, you would then have to retire at 67. Let me go further, just so you get all of the, you need to get every morsel of this so you understand, because what they're going to try to do is this. They're going to try to fool you to make you think this is a good ideal because it sounds good. But meanwhile, back at the ranch, this is just another ploy by Republicans to steal from the poor and to give to the rich when they can afford to just help the poor. But I digress. And to help working families, too. So, the plan would have parents pay for children with their retirement funds, essentially stealing their own future well-being. The plan would cut your Social Security benefits for the rest of your life. The ideal of using your Social Security fund as a private piggy bank threatens and destabilizes the very notion of what the social insurance program was created to do, to make sure that you would not die a poor pauper, to make sure you can retire with dignity and respect. The Social Security plan was a contract created between the American government and its workers and the citizens of this country that said, if you work hard and you play by the rules, you will be able to have a solid retirement and not have to worry about working until you're 80 and 90 years old in a glass factory or packing oranges or being a teacher. You're able to retire with a sound peace of mind. And the reason why this thing it's so shocking to me is because my mom just retired a couple weeks ago from work. And my mom, I mean, anybody who knows me very well knows that my mom busted her ass for me and my brother. And the notion that you're saying to people like my mother, right, and working moms and working dads all across this country that you have to make a choice is shocking. And it's alarming, and to be frank with you, it's downright disgusting. You're telling parents that you have a sick kid. If your kid is dying of leukemia, you have to make a choice between your sick kid and your peace of mind at retirement. Why should these people have to make this choice, and we as a country should be able to do this for them? Our system can do this. We just don't want to do it. We don't have the will to do it. And what you're going to hear from Republicans over and over again is we can't afford to do it. But that's a lie. But before I get into that, because I'm getting ready, you know me, I'm getting ready to go on a diatribe. And my producers are looking at me and saying, Richard, don't go on a diatribe. Get to the facts, Richard. Get to the facts. So I'm going to get to the facts. In response to criticism from the Washington Post, Marco Rubio, one of the authors of this Ivanka Rubio, Rubanka, as we like to call them, Rubanka. In response to the Washington Post, criticizing how bad his plan was, here's what Rubio said in a tweet. Valid point by the Washington Post reporter, but remember, my goal isn't a perfect plan. it's a 60 votes for a law better than the status quo. And so I thought to myself when I saw that tweet, what? To be frank with you, Marco Rubio, the status quo is better than this plan. Because in the status quo, you just say, you know, you stop working and you take care of your family, and at least at 65, you know you can retire. What your plan says is, you stop working, the government fools you to buy into this gimmick, because it is a gimmick, and then you go to the Social Security office at 65 and you're like, hello, I'm here for my retirement. And they're like, oh no, sorry, you need to go back to work for another 6 weeks. We'll see you in 6 weeks. Or, sorry, you took a year off to take care of your sick mother. We'll see you when that time's over. That's not what needs to happen here. Number one, we are the richest country on earth. And simply put, if we ended the war in Afghanistan, which we all know we can't win, you know we can't win it, I know we can't win it, the world knows we can't win it, the Taliban knows we can't win it, Al-Qaeda knows we can't win it. If we ended the war in Afghanistan and brought all our troops home and used that money from that war, we could have a real paid leave plan that worked, that said if your family's sick, guess what? We have signed a contract, just like when we created Social Security. We can extend that contract to parents and to family members that says we will extend the Social Security contract to you. And we will say to you that if you have a sick child, if you just had a baby, if you have a sick mother, take the time you need to take care of your family. And just know that we here, your government, who was elected to serve you, your government who has a solemn obligation to make sure that you're healthy, to make sure that you have the access to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, will extend that contract that we extend to those who retire, to working families, that says, take care of your sick family, and we will pay you your salary until you can go back to work. America. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're looking at a chart right now, and that chart compares U.S. paid leave to the rest of the world. The U.S. is the only developed country in the world that has 0 paid parental leave, while countries including Russia, China, and Germany all offer over 90 days. In the United Kingdom, I would argue probably our motherland, they offer 280 days of paid family leave. We can do better than this, America. Now this plan, this scheme was developed by the Independent Women's Forum, and it was founded in 1991 by women who defended the nomination of Clarence Thomas. Go figure. Go figure. Because nominating Clarence Thomas was a scheme, and this is an extension of that scheme. But this scheme, America, needs to be rejected on face. Donald Trump, in his State of the Union, said he was going to give America paid family leave. Mr. President, this ain't it. This is a sham. This is a joke. This is a scheme. But you know what, folks? It doesn't surprise me. That's what this president does for a living. He's the schemer in chief. He schemed the American people to vote for him, saying he was going to make America great again. And all across this country, we're looking. We're trying to find it. And for millions of Americans, America's not great again. America's just the same. If you're at the bottom, you're still at the bottom. If you're at the top, your wealth has gone up. So America, this paid family leave plan is an absolute and utter disaster from the pits of hell. And you have got to call your member of Congress. You have got to call your senator, and you have got to tell them to reject the Ivanka, I like making fun of their names and putting them together, plan on face, because it doesn't work for the American people. It is basically forcing you to steal from your own retirement to take care of your sick family members or a newborn baby. This is not what we expected. Not even remotely. Now remember, I, on this show, at this desk, in this studio, said if he passes paid family leave, I will stand behind him and clap. America, if this is the plan, Richard Fowler ain't going. Because this plan don't work. And I have a solemn obligation, because my mother was part of the working class. and she just retired, and she will eventually, she hasn't qualified for Social Security yet, but when she will be one person where the government will fulfill their obligation to her, and she will get her Social Security because she's paid into the system. And she will get that solemn obligation. And I, as somebody who believes in the American dream, who believes in the American worker, cannot sit idly by and watch them try to sell you, piss on you, and call it rain. This ain't rain. This is just piss. This is a bad plan. A bad plan. It's literally, I mean, I don't know how to describe it, but simply put, because I think repetition is key on this one, it is literally stealing your own retirement money for you to take care of your family. I don't understand why Republicans think that we have to, like, Republicans always want to think it's a choice. It's always a choice. You got to make a choice. You got to make a choice. You have to pick a choice. It's either you retire or you take care of your sick kid. Do they ask the rich people that question? Like, do they ask rich people these questions? Because I'm pretty sure when they passed their tax plan, they didn't ask the rich people the question. They didn't say to rich Americans, well, you could either keep the loopholes or take a tax cut. They said, no, you can have your loopholes. They didn't close one loophole. And you're going to get your tax cut. For the oil industry, you could drill all you want. Drill all around the coast. Oh, and you get your tax cut. Monsanto and Bayer, you can merge and you get your tax cut. Nobody else seems to have to make a choice beside America's working people. Why must, when it comes to the American worker, we have to make a choice? But everybody else, they don't get to make choices. They get everything. They get a smorgasbord. It's like a Chinese buffet for everybody else. But for the American worker, it's a choice. You got to pick number one or you pick number two. You can't have both. America, this is not a choice. Paid family leave should never be a choice. You should just get it because we are a civilized country. We are a developed country. We are the world's #1 economy, and it is a contract that we should extend to every working family, period.